Hello everyone and welcome to our press conference for the 2018 General Tire World Championship Shotgun Round 1. Today's winner, Andy Montgomery. Congratulations,
Thank
Andy.
you. Thank you.
We are so excited to have you here. I want to ask you about today's performance, both for you but also for the other 5 anglers. You know, the score tracker was lighting up all day. Lots of movements and lots of different anglers with a lot of very different styles of fishing. Why do you think that there was so much different success with so many different styles that changed throughout the day so much?
Yeah, I think you could just pick something and go with it. And but man, it was intense, wasn't it? I think I was probably in every position today at one time. I'm sure I was 5th, 6th, 4th. I was everywhere. And you know, somebody being 6th and then get a score tracker update and they move all the way to 2nd. So it was an exciting day. It was definitely an intense day. I was able to stretch a little lead out there in the 3rd period to lessen the pressure, I guess, but it wasn't long. It was intense again when everyone started coming.
Your win today sends you straight to the sudden death rounds later this week. How does that feel?
Man, it feels awesome. It really does. You know, as we've seen today, nobody's out of it. So typically, you know, if I would have finished 2nd and had to fish again, maybe I would have had a 15-pound lead or something going into the next round. But that's not going to be the case with these guys. Anybody can win or anybody can move on. So just to not have that stress for another day, these things take years off your life. It's killing me. I was looking for a nerve pill today. It's tough out there, but I can relax for a few days before I have to go fishing again.
And talk a little bit about the reality of Florida this time of year, because unlike other events where you can be comfortable catching 1-pound fish all day long,
Right.
somebody could catch an 8-pounder or 9-pounder.
Right.
It changes the dynamic completely.
It does, and Florida plays a big deal today for me, just the way I fished, and the fish are constantly coming in Florida this time of year. So yeah, if you got a 6-7 pound lead, you don't feel safe, that's for sure, because one cast, one flip, whatever, you know, guys can catch up. But it also helps you because the fish keep coming. You can keep fishing you know, the same water over and over and over, and the fish keep coming. I seen that today. I caught some pre-spawn females in the 3rd period, and it just soared my confidence because I knew they'd just moved up, because I'd seen that little area earlier in the day and just caught bucks, and I knew the females had just moved up, so I knew I could refish water. It's really challenging in Florida to find new waters. You know, a lot of the country I can just drive and look at the bank and see where I need to fish and really develop a pattern. Florida's a little different. You know, you got to fish, and you know, I did see this area and I thought it looked good, but once I got in there, I discovered that it was about a foot deeper. Had 2 little ponds that was about a foot deeper, which is huge in Florida, a foot different. So Florida definitely fishes different, and it played a factor in how I fish today for sure. I like to burn up the bank, you know, typically in these things, but I really slowed down once I got around some fish because I knew more was coming in Florida.
Andy, first, congratulations.
Thank you.
What changes, if any, will you make for the sudden death round?
Well, to my tackle, you know, I've made a lot of championships in these deals. I think I've made 3 out of 4, but I've never been able to win the championship. And I think part of that is because I've relied too much on what I caught them on in the first couple of rounds instead of keeping an open mind. So, man, I had so many dowel rods and reels rigged up today that I don't think I'll have to add anything. But I definitely not going to get hung up on one thing. It's cost me. You know, I want to win one of these deals. Like I say, I've made the championship 3 out of 4 times, but I've struggled in the championship round because I've relied so much on what happened earlier. And we go to new lakes and things change, and you really got to keep an open mind. The first round, I got an open mind. I got nothing to go with. So, you know, I'm not going to make many changes to what I already had rigged up today, but I'm not going to be locked in on how I caught them today for sure.
Andy, tell us about your primary baits and patterns today. What do you use?
So I caught most all of them on swimming a worm. I started out with a Strike King cutter worm, and what you didn't see was how many short fish I was catching or non-scoreable bass I was catching. I was catching a ton of them. So I had 3 packs of Strike King cutter worms. I went through them before you could blink an eye. And then I went to digging, just finding worms I could swim. So it's swimming worms, paddle tail worms. I'm going to Bass Pro. As soon as we get done with this deal, we going to Bass Pro. We're gonna buy every Strike King cutter worm they got. I can promise you that for the next round. So
As far as the pattern goes, was it lily pad?
no, they was. I wanted to be around clean hydrilla. So I was in an area with clean hydrilla, but the biggest thing was it was kind of like a little pond I was in. It was 2.25 foot deep all the way around this little deal, and it was 3.25 inside it. A foot in Florida is huge. You know, it's just a foot difference is huge. So it was more of the area instead of targeting a specific lily pad, mats, etc. It was more of, I got into a good area, and the area was because it was a little bit deeper. Had some clean hydrilla, so I didn't have that snot grass all over my bait, so I could really fish it effectively. So I think it's more of an area. I caught them off a lot of different things.
Andy, the weather conditions changed throughout the day with lots of sunshine, and then at times you had cloud cover.
Mm-hmm.
How did that affect your fishing?
They bit when the wind blew. The wind was critical. So when I had my flurries, I had a couple of really nice flurries today where I caught a lot of fish. That was when the wind was blowing. And when it wasn't blowing, it was a challenge to get a bite. I missed a lot, had a lot just short strike and stuff. So the wind was critical for me. I tried to stay in the wind, and then I tried to use that as an advantage. Didn't pay too much attention to the cloud cover. There's more wind today, and it's unbelievable. It's blowing 15 miles an hour, and an hour later it was dead slick calm. It was really unbelievable.
Andy, can you talk a little bit about the lake that you were fishing on? If you can even really call it a lake, I guess it was more of a lagoon, perhaps, that you were on today.
I'm glad you knew what it was, because I wouldn't even been able to figure out lagoon.
And then also maybe the timing of the fish. You know, was it pre, post spawn? You know, what kind of were the conditions of the water that you were fishing?
Yeah, I think I caught a lot of spawning fish. I think that's what I was catching. I know the females I caught that was really fat. I think they just pulled in the spawn. I only actually sight fished one today that I seen off a bed, but the fish I was catching I think was in there spawning. Just a little too deep, a little too windy for me to see. As far as the lake, it's just man, these Florida lakes are just flat, you know, and it was a unique lake. It was pretty much square. It was really unique. So I was just fortunate to find a little deeper hole. In Florida, the lakes, it's more what's under the water. Like I say, you can't read the bank, you can't see points, you can't see all that. So it's hard to just drive around and see good stuff. You just really got to get to fishing and move around and pay attention to your Lowrances, and when you see a little drop or something, then you know you get into a good area. So it's a unique lake. That's probably the first square lake I've ever fished, that's for sure. Never fished a square lake that I can remember.
Sudden death.
Square, rectangle. let me rephrase that. It's either square or rectangle. One of the two. There's a difference too.
Sudden death is an entirely different mentality than an elimination round. So how are you going to mentally prepare for that?
I don't know. Mentally, I don't know if I'll do anything different. You know, I really like in some of these deals, even though I start catching them, if I see it just waning off just a little bit, end of the first period, second period, I do some exploring. And we've seen that today where I did some exploring. And then I really want to put myself in position the third period to be in the best water that I know of. So I really want to put myself in position to be around fish the third period. So I do a little bit more exploring when it's not sudden death round. Sudden death, if you catching fish, you got to keep catching them until you can't catch them no more, and then go looking. So got to catch them a little bit faster, and you can't. I do a little bit of preparing for the third period in earlier rounds, but sudden death, you can't do that. You just got to catch all you can catch.
So Andy, I went back and took a look at your tournament results over your career for the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm. All over the place, ain't they?
Yeah, you have one top 10. You have one top 10 in Florida.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys here who talk about this place like it's its own mystery.
Right.
What is it about that, and how badly would you like to finish off and do really well at an event in Florida?
Yeah, well, you know, I learned a lot from them butt kickings. You know, that's the quickest way to learn something is get your butt kicked. So you've seen that today, how I really slowed down and picked the area apart. I like to burn the bank up. That's what I growed up doing. So early in my career, it took a little bit for me to be able to slow down and fish like I need to. So the last tournament I fished in Florida, I made the top 10, and that was the one you were talking about. So I definitely learned some stuff over my career, mainly to slowing down when you're around fish, and you can't catch them all in Florida. You cannot. You know, it's different than when I'm catching them off docks or something. You know, I take him out of his house, but man, these ain't houses. These are hotels down here in Florida. I mean, it's just got all kind of occupants, and it ain't got one single occupant under there. They got a bunch of people, big population, cities.
Andy, one last question. We know you've got a busy night ahead of you before the rest of your week. I know it was tough last year because points-wise you would have qualified into the World Championship.
Oh,
you
stabbing!
You knew I was going to bring it up.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because of the rules of Major League Fishing, you hadn't fished your 2 years yet, and you weren't able to fish Major League Fishing World Championship. But you're here this year, obviously. You know, you qualified in, well-deserved placement here in the top 12. And you're over halfway there to that championship round. So, you know, what was your mentality coming into this event, and how does it kind of feel being already, you know, halfway to that championship round?
Man, it feels good. This is a 3-step process to win the World Championship. I conquered the first step. I still got 2 more steps. And last year was tough. You know, I watched them guys fish, and it was really my style of fishing. That was more my style. And then we got the email that we was coming to Florida this year, and I knew it wasn't, you know, typically my style. But like I say, I've learned a lot. So last year was tough watching them, feeling like I should have been there even though I wasn't. But that's in the past. Here we are this week. I'm a third of the way there. I got 2 more rounds. Like I said, I got through step number 1. Got 2 more steps to reach my goals.
Well, Andy, we wish you the best of luck. Like you said, only 2 more steps until that championship round, and we hope that you have great success doing it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Today's champion, Andy Montgomery.
Thanks.